Hi there, it's Ruth at Artful Stamping with a One Sheet Wonder Wednesday. This is where I use one sheet of cardstock to create various items. So today we're going to be using Garden in Bloom, which is this gorgeous watercolour effect stamp set. And we're going to be making this card here. Well, in actual fact, we're going to be making 3 in one go. So you can get a lot of cards made using this technique. So first of all, we just need to mount up these stamps. These are photopolymer stamps. So the way you need to use them is on an acrylic block. So I'm just going to pop off the butterfly here. Now I'm going to be using some colours that are very near and dear to my heart. This is Blackberry Bliss, and this we're going to be saying goodbye to this ink pad very, very soon because it's going to be retiring in June. However, I do need to warn you that if you really, really like it, then you need to purchase it now because as soon as the retirement list gets announced, which is only a few days away, stocks tend to deplete very quickly because people like to buy up their favourite colours, and or if they haven't bought it before, that's the time that they tend to buy it. So do let me know if you like any of the current in colours, the 2000 let me get this right, 14 to 2016 in colours. If you do like them, then give me drop me a line and I can place an order for you for them. Okay, as you can see, I'm just stamping butterflies all the way down this sheet of cardstock, and I'm hoping that when I get to the end I'm going to have space for just one little one down here. Ooh, just about, there we go. Oh dear, and I've just I got my block landed in my drink earlier and got rather wet, and it's just landed on there. But actually I quite like that effect, so I'm just gonna, there we go, no such thing as a mistake, there we go. Right, okay, and then the next thing to do is to actually fill in. This is a 2-step stamping set, so it means that we have stamps that actually fit together nicely. So this one is the one that pairs with this butterfly here. So I'm just going to pop that off and stamp off in Tangelo Twist, which is another colour that we're going to be saying goodbye to. Not perhaps the one that I've used so much of, but it's a really, really gorgeous dusky orangey colour. Lovely for doing autumnal pictures. So all you do is fill in the outline, and you don't have to be super strict on it because it's kind of a watercolour effect, so it doesn't matter if you stray outside the lines a little bit. Okay, there, I've just finished filling all those in. Now, what you have to do is turn the cardstock over, and down this right-hand side, we're going to be stamping some of the leaves. So here I have the leaf. And for the outline, we're going to be using Mossy Meadow. Again, another colour that's going to be leaving us, and I really, really do love this green. It's such a lovely deep colour, and it pairs beautifully with Old Olive, which we're going to use in a second to fill in the leaf shape. So I'm just going to stamp that all the way down. And then when you've done that, time to fill it in with the block kind of shape there, and I'm going to use Old Olive just to do that all the way down. And again, you don't have to be super strict about how inside the lines you're going. Okay, and as you can see, I've sort of messed up a little bit there, but it doesn't matter because I actually want it to be quite green all the way down, so I'm stamping and then stamping off all the way down because I want this border to be really green. So this is a good way to kind of get colour onto something, kind of stamping and then stamping off without using your sponge and having a kind of it very uniform. If you want it sort of mottled, it's quite good to use a kind of blockish stamp and just stamp and stamp and stamp. Okay, so I do want a little bit more texture in there with some little leaves. So there's this little leaf stamp here. I'm just going to load up. Again, bring in the Mossy Meadow just to fill in some of the little gaps there. So I'm just going to pop that in there like that. And there we have it, that's the border. Okay, so that's going to fold over like that. Now I'm just going to pop all my ink pads away and then grab my snips to then cut along the right hand edge of where the butterflies are. So I'm just going to fussy cut all the way up. Now my tip is don't cut exactly to the line, because if you make a mistake and get a little bit close, or yeah, basically get a little bit close, it won't matter too much. Whereas if you're cutting directly on the line and you get a little bit too close, it's kind of obvious then that if you've made a mistake. So I tend to just give a tiniest little border around it. Okay, I think I'm going to carry on doing this, and then by the magic of camera I'm going to come back when it's all done. So when you've got the border all cut out, just need to score your 12 by 12 cardstock at 6 inches, and then I'm actually going to cut them into 3 cards now, so that when I do the next stage it's a bit easier to see. So I've got the 3 cards ready here, ready to stamp on. So I've got the large flower here. I'm going to attach that to a nice large block. Now with these stamps, the ones that are sort of a 2-step stamping, they have a little notch here so that it's easier to align it up with the second image. So it's worth just noting when you do your stamping which direction the notch is at. So back for Blackberry Bliss. I'm just going to stamp that in the bottom left hand corner of the card, all 3 of them. It's a quick way to get quite a few cards made. I'm just going to peel that off and then bring the next one in. Okay, so upwards, line it up and stamp. And again, you don't have to be super duper strict about being in the lines, because they're actually designed to look like they've been hand painted. So that's great. Okay, take the flower off, and then just going to pop a few leaves on, and then this lovely little flower here. This again 2-step stamping. We've got these 2 little flowers here to line up. So I'm just going to pop a flower there, and then one on there like that. Okay, I've actually decided to do 2 on each one. Swap them back out again, and then bring the Blackberry Bliss to just go over the top of the flower like that. Then when you've done that, it's time to pop some more leaves on there just to fill out the spray. So this large flower is my focal point, so once you've got the focal point, I tend to have leaves coming away from that kind of focal point. So each time I do this might be a bit different, doesn't matter. Okay. Pop some of this side. So although they're all going to look similar, they're not going to be exactly the same. I'm going to bring that first one back and pop some leaves there as well. There we go. And then, as before, you basically fill in the solid with the lighter green. I'm using Old Olive. And And then when you filled in those ones, I just pop a few of these little flowers just to fill in some of the gaps between the flower and the leaves and the other flowers. And then with the little filler leaf, and just go over the leaves. Okay, so when you've done that, all that remains to do is take a couple of the stamps from Timeless Textures, this one here, and this splatter here, and some soft suede. And what I'm going to do is just fill in some of the little gaps between the leaves and the flowers, because I think in nature you don't tend to, you know, on a flower bush or whatever, you don't tend to see gaps. So although, you know, we can't fill this all with green, we're kind of giving the illusion of it being filled with these little splatters. And then this stamp here, I'm just going to stamp this all around the edge, just to give it a little bit of focus and texture. And with this, it doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit, it's just about giving a little bit extra. Okay, and then the final thing that I do, yesterday I had, oh no, wrong. Yesterday I did a little bit of stamp surgery. If you find that you have a sentiment that perhaps you want to use the word separately from the other words, then if you're very, very careful, and as long as you're careful to check that there is no connecting image, you can cut very carefully one stamp away from the other. So I've done that with the word friends, and I actually want to stamp the word friend on its own, not friends. So I'm going to show you a quick little tip on how to do that. You get yourself a sticky note, and the sticky part there, just pop that over the letter that you don't want to have showing. Stay, there we go. And then you pick up your stamp as normal and take the post-it note off, it just fell off then. And then voila, you can just stamp then very cleanly the word on its own. And then when you fold that over, you've just got the little bit of the green peeking through behind the butterfly there, and then just the word friend on the card. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me today for One Sheet Wonder Wednesday. Hope it's been some inspiration to you. If you want to see any more videos or want to see better photographs of work that I've done, then please go to artfulstamping.co.uk. Don't forget to subscribe, and from artfulstamping.co.uk you can subscribe to my newsletter. Right, thank you very much and take care.